Good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is showing only on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Now we know the poverty reduction is not all about giving aid, giving assistance. It is about creating opportunities. And this morning we want to talk about key strategic ways we can reduce poverty and economic empowerment. And this morning, I'm being joined with the former Director General of NEMET and also the President Association of Nigerian Geographers, Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, with us this morning to do justice to this topic. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Happy to meet you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Yes. When we talk about strategies for poverty reduction, what are we really talking about? Because we are in a time that we have to personally, individually empower ourselves. We don't wait for government to do everything for us, so that we can, talk about eradicating poverty out of our way completely.
Thank you very much. To eradicate poverty, there are essentially 10 important things that need to be carried out.
Okay.
Because the target is to liberate an individual.
Yes.
The first one is education and awareness. By education here means trying to raise the skills of individuals,
Okay.
make them to know the alternatives that are there. Because for whatever economic activity you are doing, there are always ways you can do it better. If you are farming and you are cultivating a particular type of crop, or you are undertaking a particular farming practice, it does not, even if you have been doing it over generation,
Yes.
Times have been changing. There are changes now that have necessitated, that have created the need for you to diversify, to change the way you are doing the farming. So it is only if people are made to be aware, they are educated, you raise their capacity, you introduce certain skills to them that they will be able to do. If you look at, for instance, the farming, the typical crops that farmers plant year in, year out, uh, researches have been carried out, varieties of crops have been introduced. The farmers may not be aware of them. Even if they are aware of them, they may not have the skills to make use of them. So that is why an important thing that needs to be done is massive education and awareness here. And here, but we are not just saying you carry loudspeaker and go about the street and be shouting and be making noise, meaning that you need to be systematic in such a way that you bring them and you engage them. And then beside that, financial inclusion is very, very essential. What you mean by financial inclusion now is the financial systems make it to include the poor. When you look at the financial systems as it is designed, as it is being operated in the country, it's not really pro-poor. It can be pro-poor on the paper, but practically when you go deep, you see that it is not really targeted at the poor. When you go to the bank and you want to access facilities, they will come and say, bring collateral.
Yes.
Even if that uh, loan is collateralized, like say by government, the condition they put can be killing. And because the conditions or the interest rate, for instance, you charge to an industrialist, somebody that is into multi-million or billions naira of kind of investment, you come and you say you are charging him 30%, for instance, interest. For that kind of individual, maybe it can go. Or you are telling that individual to come and repay within 6 months. But if you are targeting a farmer, for instance, he collects a loan, he will need the loan to prepare the land. He will need the loan to buy some implement. He will need the loan to do certain things. At the end of one harvest season, he may not have the effective capacity to repay the total loan given to him. So therefore, if you don't design the program to become a sort of inclusive in nature, so that the poor are well integrated, then definitely it will not be uh, it will not be a problem. It will not be effective. You can be pumping into the economy, making the financial system stronger, pumping money, but you will discover that those that should actually be targeted will be affected. Because when you look at the poverty structure of Nigeria and many other countries, you will discover that the fact is that over 80% of Nigerians they fall into the category of poor. Either they belong to the extreme poverty, or they are in moderate poverty, or they are near poverty. Because by World Bank classification, if you are less than 250,000 per month, you are in poverty. So when you look at very few Nigerians even earn that. In fact, you may not even be wrong if you say 90% of Nigerians they fall under. So beside financial inclusion, one important thing that needs to be done is sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is very, very important. What you mean by sustainable agriculture? Introduce farming practices that cope with the current realities on the ground. Something that will farmers could be able to sustain. Don't go and introduce something to the farmers that as soon as you leave, you, that is the extension agent or the government or whoever is assisting them, as soon as you leave, maybe it stops. This is not the way to go about it. So if you are bringing in farming practice, you are trying to make intervention in agriculture, make sure that it can be sustained.
Okay, sustainable agriculture, finance, and education were the key thing you just described.
Yes.
You tell us more, but I want to break in at this point to talk about the real thing about poverty. They say poverty is the thing of the mind. Now, how can we conscientize our mind that we have to be deliberate to get out of this poverty realm?
Okay, you see, the issue is the thing about poverty is perception really matters.
Yes.
As an individual, if you develop a perception that I have been born into it, it's a generational problem. My society is like this.
It's
You are
like
resign your
this.
fate. Then it means you can't conquer. So what is therefore now important here now is for individual to realize the fact that there is no condition that can be regarded as permanent as far as the production system is concerned. So the way you are in now is not certainly the way you should permanently remain to be. So therefore, meaning that human beings should develop aspirations, meaning that at all times they know that they can go out, they need to go out, and therefore there are things that they need to do in order to go out of the poverty circle. If people don't appreciate that, then it becomes a problem. When people start thinking that, well, we are here, we are rural people, there's nothing we can do. They are there in Abuja doing it, doing this, doing that, they are making us poor. So therefore, what can we do? It's a very, very wrong way of thinking. So that is why it is very important for the people to be made to have that kind of thinking, to conquer themselves. Because if they do not conquer themselves, then it means the trap, they will not be able to go out of the trap. That is the most important thing.
Okay, you were giving us strategic keys. You mentioned three before
yes,
I
exactly.
came in.
So the other thing is relief, rehabilitation, and recovery from disasters.
Okay.
Very, very important. What we mean here now is conditions all over the world have changed as a result of human activities, as a result of natural changes. There are always disasters that are always affecting the communities. And as a result of this, people are always taken back. They invest their money in developing certain infrastructure for the production to go on. But disaster can come within one day and wipe out the investment. So that being the case, it means if you look at the fact that somebody maybe somebody in the rural area has a shop or has a farmland where he's doing maybe some kind of economic activity or whatever kind of activity, even inside the town. And for him to reach there, he must have invested enough effort of 8 years. So disaster can come and wipe it. If it wipe it, so you should not leave him to his fate and say, well, thank God you are alive, and leave him. That is not. You have to help him. Number one, get him rehabilitated. Help him to recover. Rehabilitate him. So if you do that, then it means you will now create a condition for him to pick up his life. Otherwise, it means the disaster has taken him 10 years back. If you don't intervene, you don't rehabilitate, you don't provide necessary relief to him. We are not saying just carry money and give people. You understand what we are saying? We are saying provide the enabling condition for them to thrive. You may not have to give them free. You understand what I'm saying? Create the necessary condition, and there are 100 ways you can do that.
And this is where government favorable policy comes
in. Yes, exactly. So that's the next thing that I'm coming to. Apart from rehabilitation, one thing that is necessary required is policy shift. So the policy shift, the need for the government to shift its policies to be community driven as much as we can. because the communities, they know their needs and aspirations.
Okay.
You can spend billions of naira to intervene in a community. If that is not the priority of the community, as soon as the support from you stops, the community can look the other way.
Sure.
But the community, they are the ones that live within the area. They know their major challenges. No matter how educated you are, you can't say you are better than what they know. You know better than what they know. So therefore, now the policy should be people driven. What we mean by people driven is empower them to take decisions.
Okay.
Hear from them, ask them what is needed.
Okay.
Develop program. If you are developing the program, develop it with them.
Okay.
So rather than package it in Abuja, send it to the state, to the local community through the state. Okay. Is not a very good way. So therefore, we need to change the policies properly. If you look at the fact that poverty eradication, this has been going on for the last 40 years, okay, but still Nigerians still remain in poverty. Part of the reason is that the communities are not being taken out. Policy, you will discover that some of the World Bank policies that are community driven, when you go to the rural community, when you see a small primary health care, when you see an access road, when you see even a school building, community school building, when you try to find out the source, you will discover that those that have remained sustainable, they are the ones that are driven by the communities. So it's like a very good model. This is the way things are done now. It's very, very important. Apart from the policy also.
Before you bring us more,
Yeah.
let me cut you off on
Yeah.
this. We'll quickly go on a break. When we come back, you give us more strategies to
much.
reducing poverty. Yes, we have been talking about strategies to poverty reduction. Let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll have more for you. Welcome back, and if you've just tuned in, we are here discussing about strategies for poverty reduction and economic empowerment. Yes, Prof, before we went on that break, you gave us numerous strategies talking about finance, education, policy, sustainable agriculture. Give us more.
You see, the other thing that is also very, very essential is infrastructure.
Okay.
This is very, very essential because people can be in the communities. There are a number of infrastructure they need for them to integrate with the outside community.
Sure.
Access roads are not there. Because access roads are not there, their farm produce cannot be evacuated to the market. And because they can't evacuate it into the market, someone has that can have the resources to travel and go to the communities. A basket of tomato that if the farmer brings it to Abuja, for instance, he can sell for 5,000 because he cannot come out. Somebody that can manage to go there with money to buy can buy it 1,000 naira. So you can look at the loss. So that's what we are trying to do. So when you are providing the infrastructure, provide the critical infrastructure that the communities need that will bring them out of poverty.
Okay.
You can go and spend billions of naira and build a school in the community, for instance. It's an infrastructure, but that may not be the most critical thing that the communities need. The communities need maybe is just a road that will require 10 million naira to construct. This is the kind of thing that we are saying. If you are providing the infrastructure, provide the infrastructure that the communities critically need in order to come out of poverty. If community, for instance, now you provide seeds and the chemicals and associated infrastructure that will help the farmers, the farm implement, for them to till the land, for which you spend 100 million, it may be more better than a situation whereby you spend 1 billion naira to construct a school or a hospital for them. Because it's like you have done that, you have blocked one way, and you have left another way unblocked. Sure. And that can create so much problem. Okay. Very, very important.
Okay, as you're ready to bring up more points, I want to interject at this point. Now, we all know that the world has gone global. Yeah. I want you to talk about how we can leverage on technology for poverty reduction.
That is what I'm trying to say. That was the next thing. All right. You see, so besides providing the necessary infrastructure, the next thing is there is vertical and horizontal integration of communities is very essential.
Vertical and horizontal integration.
What do you mean by vertical? Meaning that all those that have links, physical links with the communities, you need to get the communities integrated.
Okay.
And when we say you integrate the communities, we are not saying that you carry the communities to go there. Provide links or means by which the communities can get links. Media is one way, for instance. And when you say media now, it can be electronic, it can be internet based, it can be physical or anything. For instance, that can help you to make sure that the communities are integrated. So if the communities are not well integrated, they cannot know what is happening. And then when you say the vertical now, that is with the outside. Okay. You try and get the communities integrated with the outside. In both the horizontal or vertical integration, modern technology plays very, very critical role. The world is a global village, and if the communities are there, and then you bring them so that at their tips at any time they are in touch with what is happening. Yes. So that can be really the communities will know. You do not be surprised when you go to some communities and you ask them who is the president, they will tell you it's Jonathan. Probably they don't know effectively with the outside world. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things that we are saying. By the time you get the communities integrated vertically and horizontally, and then I'm assuring you that poverty eradication can really go in a very long way.
Wow, what a number of strategies you have prepared this morning. And I want to talk about partnership again. How can we partner with outside world to leverage on what they have for us to have a reduction in the area of poverty?
Yeah, thank you very much. See, this integration is a compound word.
Yes,
because the idea of integration is to develop partnerships.
Yes.
Because when you are integrated, the idea is you identify opportunities. Okay. When you identify opportunities, then you try and see how you can make people to become your partners. Because that is the idea of international communities. They have very important role to play. Yes. When they have very, very important roles to play, that being the case, then it means through integration, you can really leverage on what the successes they have made, the progress that they have made in their various aspects of life, so that you can see how you can get them to come in. You see, there's no free money now, no more free money in the world now. Money. Yes, in the past, we can say that we can sit down and wait, money will be coming for us to develop. But they want to see your efforts, what you can do first. You understand what I'm saying? So that at least on that basis, they can see how they can partner with you. If you are a lazy type, you are lacking in ideas, you are not innovative, partners will not definitely welcome you. They will look at you as somebody, even if we give you, it will not have impact. Because the international community, they are also interested in you coming out of poverty. Because if you don't come out of poverty, they are also affected. It means even if, for instance, there are things they produce, you can't buy it because you are in poverty. Or some of you, because they are poverty, they can run and go. Look at what is happening, this migration that is happening. Yes. When you go to the street of Europe, the Mediterranean people, it's part of the problem. Challenge. It's a global challenge. So it's very, very important. One thing that we mistakenly left out here now is what should have been, to me, not because you are the one anchoring the program, okay, but because of it's women empowerment. Women empowerment. I am a bit surprised that I missed it out and you could not say it.
Now that you remember, it's very, very important. We need to be empowered.
Women, because you see, the issue is there are more men. Yeah. There are more women than men in the world. That is the reality. And women, they perform greater role in sustaining.
We are happy when it comes from a gender like you. We are so happy. So talk to us more.
So you see, what we are saying now here now is, number one, because they are the ones that form the bulk of the population. Okay. So if you neglect them, then it means you are neglecting the community. Number two, they are the ones that are sustaining the family. Number three, the production. Women are actively involved in production. Go live Abuja, go to rural areas, go to the markets, go to the farms. You see women actively involved. Everywhere. So, but the issue problem here now is when you look at a number of issues, property rights, for instance, when you look at the property, how they are, you see that women, they are not really empowered. You can see somebody, a man in a family of 20, himself, the wife or wives and children or so, he can have 20 hectares of the land. But even a meter square of the land does not belong to the woman. So these are not, how can you make a progress after that? So what we are trying to say here now is deliberate policies towards women empowerment need to come in. And I'm not saying we have Minister of Women Affairs, that is enough. No, what you do is introduce, we are not saying equality. Certainly there cannot be equality, but equity. Meaning that make women to earn,
Yes.
make women to have, to possess. If you do that, then women they can take decisions and undertake economic activities, and the society will be better.
And manage it very well. Well, as we round up the program, your final word quickly in just a sentence or two before I let you go.
So it's important because what we have been discussing here now is strategies to eradicate poverty means that individuals have important role to play.
Wow.
And because we have an individual role to play, then it means you look at yourself and see what is it that you can do that you have not done. And then those that are helping to eradicate poverty, let them target the individuals so that help the individual to take decision and be able to make a progress.
Thank you so much. We do really appreciate your time with us this morning. What a wonderful information. Thank you, sir. All right. Yes, I want to lend my voice to what he has just said. As an individual, look within yourself. What do you have inside of you to offer? And as you bring out that idea together, we will reduce poverty in our land. And we've been talking about strategies for poverty reduction and economic empowerment. And we've been talking with Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, who is the former Director General of NIMET and also President Association of Nigeria Geographers. Now let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here for you and we'll have more to give to you on the program Good Morning Abuja. Don't go anywhere. Good to know you are still there with us on the program Good Morning Abuja, showing only on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. And now to road matters. This morning we want to talk about reckless driving, and we have the friend of the house who is always coming to educate us on the program Good Morning Abuja every Thursday. Help us welcome CRC Sylvanus Ekpeyon, who is the Unit Head of Operations, Central Business District of the Federal Road Safety Corps, to the program. CRC Ekpeyon, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good to see you again.
Thank you.
For our usual education.
We have to be here to also educate the motorists on the proper use of the road.
Okay, proper use. Talking about proper use of the road. Yes. This morning we are going to focus on reckless driving. You know, in your voice you say to guide against reckless driving is start from your voice. Yeah. I love that caption. Now let's take us through the journey of what reckless driving is all about.
You see, like we said, reckless driving is a concern that everybody need to speak about it.
Okay.
Because it's not only in Nigeria, worldwide, it's what that concerns everybody when you see reckless drivers on the road. And what is reckless driving? Reckless driving is simply a willful disobedience or disregard to traffic rules. Wow. Normally resulted in dangerous behaviors like excessive speeding, improper overtaking, distracted driving, disobedient to traffic rules and regulations. So these are when all these things, if you are not obeying them, would lead to reckless driving. Okay. Especially when you are not obeying traffic signals.
Okay, thank you so much for that response. Now, we want you to really point out the consequences of reckless driving so that we really know.
It has too many consequences, especially it has to deal with your loss of lives and properties. Okay. And it also tell on economies of a particular family and the country. Now, when you are recklessly and you involve in a crash, it will stress the healthcare system. In the hospital that have to manage a large number of accident victims. And maybe some facilities of the hospital might not even be enough to accommodate the large number of emergency. And when you have a crash that involves maybe luxurious buses that have to carry over 30 people inside the vehicles, and you have to involve in a crash with other motorists, you know that it will stress the healthcare system, and also it will talk on the economy of the family. Now you are no more alive. What happened to your family? They are just there to grieve over you. And maybe you are the only the breadwinner of the family, and you have gone. The family suffered. The property is gone. The vehicle is no more there. So it has the consequences. And what are the causes of these things? The causes are one.
Before we get to the causes, I want us, when we're responding to the first question, you talk about excessive overspeeding.
Excessive
and
speeding, yes.
excessive speeding and overtaking dangerously.
Yes.
This brings me to common sense in driving. They say common sense is not common. And in life, it's not everything they teach you. Your common sense will tell you in your mind that what you're doing is right or wrong. How can we use our common sense when we are driving on our roads?
In short, when you talk about common sense,
yes,
and that's why when I'm always when we go out for public enlightenment and public education, we tell people when you go to the speech, normally the speed are being categorized based on the road and the vehicles. And we always tell people, why don't you use your common sense speed limit?
Common sense speed limit.
What is the common sense speed limit?
Let's remind them again.
Yes, it's a speed that you know that you can control.
All right.
It's just a simple sense. It's a speed that you can control. And most of us have the problem of when it comes to reckless driving.
Okay.
You knew that, okay, I am not supposed to drink and drive. I'm not supposed to be on drugs. And I went to motor park, take my beer, take my spirit, take my all the takeable, take all the spirit,
and some
take all the drugs.
It is when they take all of those things, they'll have a grip
and
on
you
their
know the
steering.
implication that when you drink,
yes,
you will not be able to be within your senses. You enter a vehicle and drive. Your common sense will tell you, please, as you are drinking, you are not supposed to be on the wheel. You're supposed to please stay somewhere, relax until you are normal. Because one, when you are under influence of drugs and alcohol, you will impair your vision. You will not be able to articulate when emergency happens. And I've been on the other day, we saw somebody coming to, it was, so what happened was that at the gate of a car park in CBD, we saw somebody just driving. There's a barricade. He was just pushing the barricade.
Was he
barricade, and the whole windscreen shattered. So we have to rush down and stop the vehicle. What happened? We found out the man was drunk. We have to move him out of the vehicle, keep him until when he recovered himself. He doesn't know why he came to central area. That's not his route. So he doesn't know what bring him. You can see it's because of intoxication.
Yes.
The influence of alcohol and drugs that was in his system, that he lose his way. And God saved him, he came to that place. Supposing that thing happened on the expressway, on the highway, what could have happened?
Disaster.
And that's why we say when you are talking about reckless driving, a reckless driver, he has the cost. You have to be cautious, because when you are recklessly on the road, it does not affect you alone. It affects you as a driver, the pedestrians, the occupants of the vehicle, and other road users, the cyclists. Supposing at that moment some people were just moving and you just go and hit them on the road, on their walkway, because you were not in your right sense.
Wow, this is interesting and awesome. And now we want to know, because the education to which we give out every day on how we use our road cannot be overemphasized. Now, though we're talking about reckless driving this morning and how everyone can lend their voice to help the way we all drive on and use our roads. Now, tell us the contributions of individuals to reckless driving.
As an individual, and we always said the safety is everybody's business. If you're inside the vehicle and you know that the way your driver is driving is recklessly, the driver one is not obeying traffic rules. For example, he drive when it's a traffic light, asking everybody to stop. The driver will beat the traffic light. You speak, tell the driver, that is as occupants of the vehicle, as the pedestrians. You tell the driver, what you are doing is wrong. You are risking my life. You are risking your life. You are risking the life of other road users. Because at the moment you disobey or you disregard the traffic signals and you move, what happened that the traffic light has given another person the right of way and two of you collide? What happened? Even you, that you're occupants of the vehicle, that refuse to speak, it will affect you. So that's why we said you have to speak out when the driver is driving recklessly. At times, we also notice that when people are driving, when there's a build-up area or when there's a traffic congestion, that's when you see people wrong overtaking.
Wrong overtaking. I'll cut you there. So we'll go on this break. When we come back, we continue on consequences, dangers of reckless driving. Yes, we have been talking about reckless driving on our roads and how we can contribute to maintaining and safe use on our road. Let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll still be here to continue our discussion. Welcome back, and if you just tuned in, we are talking about reckless driving. So before we went on that break, you were trying to talk to us about how individuals can contribute to lending our voice to maintaining a safe road and reckless driving we're discussing.
Now, I was talking about the improper overtaking.
Yes, improper overtaking.
You are inside the vehicle and there's a traffic buildup or congestion, and you don't know what happened that caused the traffic to congest. You just want to swap and overtake. And this lead to head-on collisions.
Yeah, head-on
and
collision.
lead to other involvement of other vehicles when it comes to wrongful overtaking. Because why are you always in a haste to overtake? As an occupant of the vehicle, you tell your driver, please don't do it. Because your life also is at stake. At that moment, when you are inside the vehicle, we know God protects and God provides safety and God is the overall of everything. But at that moment, you are inside a vehicle and the driver is driving you. The driver at that moment control your life, if apart from God.
Yes.
The driver at that moment control your life. If a driver is recklessly and drive out of his way, use one way, or overtake wrongly and involved in a crash, you also is affected.
Yes.
Your family is affected. Your economy is affected. Your property is affected. So why don't you speak out? Please don't do this. Let's maintain a safe driving culture.
Yes, the safe driving culture and the importance of speaking out.
Yes.
It's enormous. It's enormous. Now, I want you to talk to us more on how well you're raising awareness on this reckless driving. You know, we are here. Ember Month is here, and we are seeing things on the road. How well are you raising awareness?
Yes, we don't stop when it comes to awareness and enlightenment campaigns.
Okay.
And what I'm doing here is awareness. We'll go to radio stations, and FRSC, we have our own radio stations that will also broadcast to everybody. And apart from using the FRSC radio, we'll also go out to other radio stations to carry out public campaign and education to educate the public on the air, on the spring media and the television, to let people know that reckless driving has more consequences to your life and to the economy of your life, your family, and the country at large. And apart from that, we also have a kind of collaborations with other agencies, especially with police, Nigerian Police Force, and Directorate of Road Transport Services, the VIOs, when it comes to testing of the vehicles, so that when you know that your vehicle will be in a good working condition before you be on the road. And we'll test you, are you licensed to drive? Are you under influence of drugs and alcohol? If you are not, if you are there, we would answer you cannot make use of the road. Your vehicle must be working in good condition. And we also collaborate with schools.
Yes.
Institutions, organizations, like NTA now, we are collaborating with NTA by carrying out this public enlightenment to the public. And I believe more people that is listening to us will also learn that when you are excessively speeding your vehicle, it's wrong. It becomes recklessness. If you are overtaking wrongfully, it's also recklessness. If you are driving under influence of drugs and alcohol, it's also recklessness. If you are also not obeying traffic rules and regulations, it's also recklessness. So we advise people, please don't do this. And especially now we are in the Mamon period. People will be struggling to move from one point to the other. And especially when we get to December, everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to make money that you not make from January to December. That will see when you see more of the reckless driving on our highways.
And this is now bringing me to the penalty. You know, there are some persons, even if you hold their two ears and you talk into the ears as if they are not hearing, this brings me to penalty.
And
A very strict penalty.
that's why I said we collaborate with Nigerian Police Force.
Okay.
We collaborate with other sisters agency. We even collaborate with court. We go out to bring out mobile courts.
Okay.
And when we notice that this driver is recklessly, and they find, will book you and will take you to mobile court. Most of the driver has been sentenced to prisons. And I could remember the last time we had a one driver that was recklessly, and the magistrate sentenced him to community service.
Wow.
And the vehicle was parked in my office for over 3 weeks. And what is the driver does? He comes there every morning to sweep the whole road within the central business area. And it was monitored by a staff from correctional service.
Well, he learned in a very hard way.
And when the man finished, after 3 days, the man said, I will never. I said, no, it is just 3 days. And after 3 weeks, the man bowed. The man swore that he would never.
We hope.
He have learned a lesson.
Yes.
So the fine we are finding you is for you to change from that attitude of recklessness to be careful driver and to save life and property.
Okay, as we're talking about saving lives and properties, we want you to quickly talk about the role of technology to target these people on our way.
Yes, part of the thing we do, FRSC, like I told you, we have come up with different technology.
Yes.
Now, when we are going out for enforcement, we have what they call speed cameras, okay. And we also have breathalyzers. Those breathalyzers are used to detect a drunk driver, because naturally you see somebody said, I am not drunk. But when we use equipment, the technology that comes in, it will read your body blood contents of alcohol in your body. And the speed cameras will also record the speed, will detect the speed of the vehicle. At that moment, you were moving. That is why when we talk about excessive speed, person will tell you, how do you know I was speeding? And that's when the speed cameras come in, the speed detectors come in. And we bring it away, because now, if you see our men strategically located at a specific area, especially when you see traffic lights, because we came out with the operation, call it tag operation Carrara. It's just to make sure that we deter people from beating traffic lights, and also to checkmate excessive speeding. Wow. And they are there with cameras to detect your speeds. And when you come and say, no, I did not beat traffic lights, I did not go on excessive speeds, we'll bring out the speed detectors. And we'll show you, these are the speed you go at this particular time. Okay. And in this road, what is recommended speed limit that you're supposed to go, you exceed the speed limit. So it's an offense.
Wow. Well, I know you are doing great justice to this awareness this morning. And before I bring you to talk about your advice, before I let you go, you know how we do it. You give us the overview of situation of what happens on our road within the week under review.
The week under review, we have not been sleeping. Okay. It has been up and up and up and up around. The commercial said we want to see everybody on the road, even starting from commanding officers. Wow. You see them on the road early hour of on the peak period of traffic. You see everybody on the road controlling traffic. We want to see that the roads are free and everybody get to your destination safe and sound. And this period has been up and doing. Before I came here, my sector commander just moved around for traffic monitoring. Wow. And you can see that it doesn't even rest. Wow. It's always on the road. And that also deters motorists.
Okay, your final word.
The final word is that we talk about reckless driving. Yes. And we said it's willful disregard to traffic rules, and which normally results in the dangerous behaviors. And we want to ask the occupants and the other road users, please speak out. Your life is important. You must be safe. And make sure that if a driver is recklessly driving, tell him, please calm down. My life is important. Your life is important. We need to get to our destination safe and sound. May God bless all of us.
Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and we do really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Talking about reckless driving, you've heard it all. They say a word is enough. It is a collective responsibility. Speak out. If you see anything wrong on the road, speak out. And together we'll make use of our road and effectiveness on our road. The program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll have more for you. Stay with us, please.